See what we got going on. We're going to get this thing cracking just a little bit. Coming to you live. We're going to get this thing. All right. We are coming to you live today. Let's see. Get into this soul brother mode. No, I don't do kids on here. I don't do. I don't do that. Okay, we are back. I think I got everything I need. We're gonna find out if we back or not. Okay. We are live. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? How you do? How you do? Little green on. What's going on? What's going on? We are live today. It can be Tuesday. Hello, how you doing? It can be morning, noon, or night. Thank you very much. Hello, how are you doing? Just coming on live right now. Just thought I appreciate everybody coming through and doing a live stream. I'm black all the way, nothing else. And before people always ask about ethnicity, African American is like a wide range, but it's still black at the end of the day. You know, um, we come in all different shapes, sizes, and backs, and that's all I know. That's all I know. And depending on where you grew up and what you see, but thank you. But yeah, it's a wide range of different things. Tell me about yourself, where you're from, what's your story. We are live. And I apologize to anybody who, when I I had to step out. If you saw the thing going around in circles because I was sending out notifications, I'm on different apps. So whenever I'm going live, I have to I step out for a moment just so others who want to participate can come on. And I welcome everybody that comes through, and we will have a nice, entertaining conversation. So, appreciate that. So, welcome aboard, and let's do some talking. What's on your mind? People think he's going to be, okay. Now, he's got to put a lot of work in before he gets to that point. I like Michael B. Jordan, but the Denzel thing, that's going to take some time. That's going to take some time. But, he's a good actor. He's good. He's getting to a point. We'll see what happens. He got a good head on his shoulders, though. I'll say that for him. He's got a good head on his shoulders. What's happening? Perfect timing. Glad to have you on. Perfect timing. I told you I was coming back today. I was working on some videos. I've been working on some projects. As you know, future projects. So if you follow the channel, you'll see what I'm working on. I've got different videos coming. So stay tuned. Be on the lookout. But I did say I was going to do a live today. I had a good time when we were here a couple of days ago. I thought about coming on yesterday, but yesterday was kind of heavy. So yesterday I just kind of passed on it with the timing. And after today, I should be back on Sunday. So I'd say next Sunday, next Tuesday. Yeah. That's the way it looked like. I think that's the way it looked like. Yep. That's what I thought. I mean, Chadwick Boseman was geared towards that. Chadwick had it. As a matter of fact, that you mentioned him, Denzel paid for his helped pay for his scholarship in college. Chadwick had the goods. If you could combine Chadwick's leading man skills with Michael B. Jordan's charisma, yeah, you'd have the ultimate not only black actor but white actor. You'd have a because Chadwick had that it as far as leading man, and Michael B. Jordan has charisma that draws you in, but they're two different types of actors. But I concur with you. But I'm only saying it because yeah. Oh, Luke. Yeah, I know you're talking about Luke. Derek Luke. You good mention. Good. I like your memory. He was also as Puffy in the Biggie movie, but he got corny and they just let him go. That he had a little bit of a run. Those kind of guys remind me of Tay Diggs, the kind of cats that had like an opportunity, but they just missed the mark. They got corny at the wrong time, and them white executives, they're like, okay, next one. Yeah, well, he just got caught in that Tay Diggs, Cuba Gooding Jr. kind of boat, and he wasn't super cheesy, but he got corny, and they didn't give him no meaty role. They didn't give him the right kind of role, and again, I don't know what he could have done to really. I don't know what he could have done because when you're a black actor, you get put into a box. That's just a fact. Denzel's timing was perfect. Well, I'll tell you this: if you're a good comedian, your comic talent can make you a good actor too. You just got to know how to have a balance. I saw Richard Pryor do some serious stuff, which I like. And I always said Eddie Murphy should have played Dr. King. He missed out on the mark because when you can play multiple characters, you got to be good. Timing is what it's about. The problem with Derek Lucas, kind of like that box top on his head, it was time warp, and it came in and went, and it got expired, and he just never got another. You got to have the right role. You know, study from Lawrence Fishburne or something. You gotta understand a role. You know? So which way is up? Hello, Charlene. No, ain't no trick question. It's real. I love Which Way Is Up and the Bingo Long Traveling All Stars. And I also think that his movie as Wild L. Scott as the NASCAR driver was underrated. His role as Piano Man and Lady Sings the Blues. Blue Collar, though Richard Pryor is one of my favorite movies. I like Blue Collar a lot. Yeah, him and Yaphet Kotto and Harvey Keitel, if you ain't seen it. JoJo Dancer was good. I can't seem to find his movies a lot on the YouTube. That they ain't a handful or hardly. I did like JoJo Dancer. I followed that man's career read a lot. No, Charlene. So, ask Time. Does he think that's a trick question? Yeah, it's almost like someone's trying to sabotage because if I try to tell somebody how great he was, and it's almost like people don't then forgot about it, and it's a shame too because I do catch that baseball movie with him and John Candy. The one that came out in '85, that one's been available, but Brewster's Millions. But that's when you desperate for it. And I used to get Richard Pryor stuff all the time. Some Kind of Hero is one of my favorite films of his too. I was a Pryor junkie. See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Back when Kevin Spacey was still fresh before he was. I Pryorholic. If you're a Pryorholic, you know exactly what I mean. Bought his books. Loved his, he's the king to me as far as comedy. He'll always be the king. And him and Eddie are two different types of comedians. Yeah. She was bad. What you mean Michael B. Jordan and Sidney Poitier? What do you mean? You asking me who's the better actor? Sidney Poitier in a blowout. What are you talking about? It might, you gotta please don't do that. Please don't do that. Cause I mean that's not even up. That's not even funny. Just cause he got an Oscar. Hello, how you doing? Just cause he got an Oscar, he ain't on Sydney's territory. Sydney did that one with Tony Curtis. Shoot, that was back in '58. I can't even think of that movie now. I love that movie. I'm doing good today. How you feeling? And where you coming from? Everybody that's had Frenchie, their name's always been cool people. Yeah, Debbie Allen was always been bad. Yeah, you. Debbie Allen always was the truth. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Yeah. But you ask me a question, I'll hit you back directly. Just ask. Yes, I'm a dude. Very much a dude, Letitia. Are you a woman? There is nothing that's non-masculine about me. I'm a man all the way. The defiant ones, thank you. When was I having a crackhead moment? I watched that movie a whole lot. I understand why somebody would ask it. No, and if you say anything else that's not appropriate, I'm gonna have to take you out of here because then I think, okay, that's good. I can't have trolls today. Um, because I put it on. I just have it on the background. That's all. Let me see. I just put it on. I don't even know. Sometimes it just seems like it's bubblish. You know. I don't eat meat, so I have to take your word for it. And the last time I messed with McDonald's, they had the adult one or some crap they had. Uh, I don't mess with. I don't mess with no McDonald's. I didn't. No, but I'm glad you like it. As long as you don't get no tummy ache and you don't come running here talking about I shouldn't have ate that thing. As long as you don't tell me that, because I don't mess with McDonald's. I don't do it. I don't mess with meat at all, and I don't touch that. If you're gonna make something, yeah, you better make your own. Don't mess with that stuff, cause that's dog food. Till you're not. That mess, I don't know what that is. That stuff is not fit for an animal. Yep. That's how I have my veggie burgers too. And I got lettuce and tomato and all that. Pickles, onion. But Five Guys makes a real good one too. But no. That food, I don't know what they serving. That stuff they talking about Bill Gates's burgers. That stuff look nasty too. It's synthetic. I wouldn't put it in my tummy. I'm telling you now. Yeah, well, they're trying to give you more beef. They have to because of the asinine prices they're charging. That's what that's about. It's all about because the prices are ridiculous. So they're trying to make it out like you're getting a better deal. The quarter pounder back in the day when I ate that stuff, I liked that all right. The Big Mac was cute, and they junior burgers was cool, but nah, I mean, no. They had some adult mess that was nasty. That came out late 90s. That mess was horrible. Fries was cool. They were salty. I did like Five Guys because they gave you all that layering. But I had a veggie one there. Um, but Five Guys, I like the taste, but it can be expensive though. It can be pricey. It depends on your budget. I did have Impossible, the veggie one. Justin Fields, the quarterback, was doing that. I had that. I liked it. You know, I bought my vegetarian ones at different places. Yeah, yeah. It depends. I mean, but I'm gonna tell you something. You go to Five Guys, you gotta have some coinage though. They pretty pricey though. They will bust your pockets up. My veggie burger was about three something. Fries. I think I had a bottle of water. They had all them nuts too. They had all them nuts in the back. It was cool. But it was always like a once a year thing when I went to Five Guys. I never went there more than that. So, yep. That's what I was saying. Once a year. Cause you go there, you go broke. And I'm gonna tell you something, it ain't the best veggie burger I ever had by no stretch. Fries were a little too salty for me. I liked it for what it was because I walked it off. But they ain't, they cool. They were cool, but they once every 3 or 4 month type of place. I wouldn't bop in there like that on the regular. Well, if Michigan, only if Michigan, I don't really. I'd have to like really study the teams. It's kind of hard to say. Oh, okay. But you always got to feel that Michigan and Duke. Um, it's gonna be some perennial favorite that's gonna be in there. I know Miami, Ohio getting robbed though. They'll eventually have everybody in there though. Eventually, I'm surprised they hadn't thought about that sooner and doing away with the NIT. Oh, okay. So where I used to live, we had a Five Guys on one side of the street, and they had Jack in the Box on the other side of the street, and you had Starbucks in between it. So I don't know. Yeah, UMass or well, what he got in trouble for was messing with a side dish white woman. That's what it was, and he got all sprung. That's what got it. And but let me tell you a story. As a Michigan Wolverine fan, let me tell you a story. His real crime is they didn't beat Ohio State. And let me tell you the other moral of the lesson. He had to catch all the strays that Jim Harbaugh left behind. Remember, they were under sanction. Harbaugh illegally recruited during COVID, during the pandemic. So that's what got him in trouble. And Harbaugh had them sanctions against him. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Two things. You lose Ohio State and then you're in the Fruit of the Loom Bowl. If you beat Ohio State and you get a legit bowl, suddenly the side dish doesn't matter. Suddenly they don't see nothing. But they got smashed by Ohio State and they got the Fruit of the Loom Bowl. And he was a black dude and he had to come behind Harbaugh and he had a side blonde on the side. That's a recipe for disaster. So my man had to catch them strays. That's what was up. That was up. Sorry. People don't like to hear the truth. I say, because, think about it, right? If you win 6 games, you get some kind of bowl. So they put you in Cheerio Bowl. They got all kinds of bowls, but that ain't the bowl that they want. You got to remember, they won a national championship. So it's like, look, we can't be, in the Rose Bowl this year, and then you going to give us the Dorito Bowl. That ain't working. And the money ain't the same. And we spanked Ohio State. And did Ohio State get them cheeks clapped? Yes, they did. They got clapped out bad. They got clapped out bad. So that's what's up. Udoka. What about Udoka? I'm just saying. Well, it's just I'm making up. I'm playing, but the thing is I'm not playing because when you win, you contend and then you fall off. And they got a reputation. There's millions of dollars being generated to school, and you beat Ohio State, and they expect you to contend for a real bowl. You know, not the Colgate Bowl or something. Your butt knocked out the next week, and you knocking on some chick's door, and you beating the door down, and you crying like he sweat, and they're like, "Nah, man, you got to go, and we're gonna lock you up too." True. So let me give you a couple of schools. USC, for instance, right? OJ Simpson, huge alum. Stanford, John Elway, huge alum. Now I know Tiger Woods went there, but come on now, we know it's Elway. When North Carolina basketball, you think Michael Jordan. But that's where they make their bread from. And they own your rights, they own your merch. That's what Jalen Rose was upset about with University of Michigan. When Desmond Howard popped like Michigan, you Heisman Trophy, you bring all that to the school, all that notoriety. Reggie Bush, USC. I'm just telling you, like Vince Young, forever in Texas, can have a steak barbecue meal anytime he wants. That's after the thought. That's after the effect. He didn't quite have that kind of role in Michigan. They won, but it wasn't quite, not quite like that. Not quite. Tebow in Florida, yeah. Well, he should. He was great there. I remember. Cam was great. Yeah. He was a quarterback, Heisman Trophy. And, had he won in the NFL, had he won a Super Bowl in the NFL, he, yeah, the last 25 years, I'd say. But if I went by a quarterback who I thought left a more bigger mark, even though he wasn't as great as Cam, I tell you Vince Young. Because Vince Young had the ultimate alpha to beat USC in their backyard with Matt Liner, with Reggie Bush, Linda White, and Pete Carroll. That was the centerpiece quarterback moment. The Vince Young one for me, the last 25 years. Not that he's seeing Cam, but as far as what he did on the biggest stage, that one carries crazy weight. So, but Cam deserves it though. He was great in college. Cam was bad. Cam was bad. And he had a very good NFL career because he had won the Super Bowl, and especially with the year he had that year, you know. So okay, where everybody go? Everybody got all quiet all at once. Where everybody at? Sometimes I be wondering where things be going on such a good high. Okay, where everybody go? We are right here. Okay. We're gonna see if everybody coming through. It's been got quiet all of a sudden. If anybody's on, let me know. whose life story would you want to see on film that has been made? Good question. None of them. None of them. None of them. And I'll break it down why. Oprah is half hearted, it's half fake, half real. Janet Jackson, uh, there was a time it would have been interesting, but I don't know. I think that she had a moment and then it kind of, I don't know. And I don't think it'd be interesting at this stage. Mary J, she's not interesting, except for, unless you a fan, because you never get the truth. You'll never get the truth. Diddy, Case, Joe, that whole thing, you'll never get the truth. Pop, Suge, all of them, you'll never get the truth. Beyonce, none of them. You'll never get the truth. None of them. You'll never get the truth. That's all I keep telling you. You got to understand something. If you're a female act and you last as long as your male contemporaries, there ain't going to be any truth coming out. Unless you're scoring like Etta James or something. Or they unalive you like they did Whitney. And you'll never get the truth. So, I mean, let's keep it 100. The real elephant in the room would be Aaliyah. That would be, if the real movie came out, that would be compelling. Those others, Oprah had an interest a long time ago. She too fake for the funk. I wouldn't want to watch it. Um, Janet doesn't really move the needle of interest to my mindset no more. Another time, way back when. Mary, if she had gone a different route, and Beyonce, no. The industry is too much, so you'll never get the truth. So, good question though. But you'll never get the truth though. We have 57% people saying that no to Michael B. Jordan. And if I ask the question, I have to answer it. No, I don't think he'll be following no Denzel. But I think that he will be safe as far as winning the awards and he'll be able to be moving to other realms. But I just don't think that's going to happen. We don't live in an era where people are going to let you just morph and continue to grow as an artist. We just don't. So, okay. I wonder where you went because this stuff got quiet. And if I don't hear something, brother be like, that's the marching orders. So you let me know how much time you got. Keep on hitting them likes up too, by the way. People smash up them likes. And feel free to take the poll if you haven't done it. No, no. I mean, Lady Sings the Blues, that was schizo, bipolar, a lot of things going on with Billie Holiday. Mahogany was pretty straightforward. She wasn't disturbed in that. The Wiz was pretty straightforward. Double Platinum was pretty straightforward. No, I don't know what you mean. I don't know where you get that from. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. She ain't been in but so many movies, and she's had disturbed people in her movies. I'll give you that, but you know, boy, make you ask that question because that's kind of random. Because Donna Ross is pretty straightforward. I have never ever thought of her playing disturbed roles. You know. Yeah, well, she was portraying Billie Holiday, and that was more because of that. But again, that was based on a true story. That was adaptation of character. But by and large, no. Mm-mm. She's never done anything that I sat there and I go, "Oh, that was," you know. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. She's always pretty much stayed cool in her movies. Nah, I ain't heard nothing about Diana Rouse. Now the thing, I don't even hear anybody mention her name. Well, she's still touring. She did do a tour recently, so that's about it. Yeah, yeah, I love them both in different ways. Mahogany was more cult movie, but her and Billy D. Williams, success means nothing if you don't have anyone to share it with. And uh, Anthony Perkins was crazy as a psychic in that movie, but she looked great in Mahogany. She was at her peak and prime. Lady Scenes of Blues was a good movie. That's my favorite line. I remember lines in movies, and I like how he mustered his muffle. Success means nothing if you don't have anyone to share it with, and he just so says so defiantly. So yeah, I remember all that. A cousin of mine who was into design was inspired by that movie. That was a big movie because people manipulate it, and plus they get tax deductions on your race and your gender. Um, Billy D. Williams said that to Diana Ross and Mahogany. Now, some people they want to know if they're applying for certain things, if they're not trying to get pull a fast one. So, because they do have ways of checking you out. I've known stories of people who use disability and they fake the funk. Diane Carroll. Yeah, you had a lot of movies back then. I mean, you had, Cotton Comes to Harlem. Uh, uh, you had all the Sidney and Bill movies. You had um, with James Earl Jones and Diane. Um, um, can't think right now, but anyway, you had all that. You had all that. You had all that. Sometimes I got Diane Carroll and and Denise Nicholas mixed up. Sometime I did. Claudine. I was gonna tell about Claudine. Just a lot. It was. I think black films thrived in the 70s and in the 90s overall. Of course. Of course. Folk back then had some standards when they sat down to watch TV or movies. They weren't just watching any old thing. Nowadays you got access to everything and it you really have no access to nothing. Quality definitely took a beating. But yeah, back in the day you definitely did. Yeah, he was polarizing. But that was a segment of the population which ended up becoming president. Yeah. That was yeah. I remember James Brown was once talking about how he didn't understand then it made sense to him because the character was so real. And that mindset is very real. Great show though. And Carol O'Connell was actually a pretty cool dude too. He played that role. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why we love good TV back then because if you had a character that was lovable to hate, you did the thing. That's why when I see Joan Collins to this day as his Alexis, I was like, you did the thing. And she got those zingers too. That's how people used to judge by acting, not where everybody was all lovable and cuddly and warm and friendly. So, you know, that's how people used to judge it. Sometimes the characters though could be too much though, so and people lived and died by who they created on the screen. So that's just that's how it used to be. Yep. And she was talking about herself recently. Somehow she, keeps her weight off and things she's done. Just like Larry Hagman is J.R. Ewing. Hmm. So you just did what you did. Hmm. Okay. As I told everybody before, I'll be back on Sunday. 'Cause, what could be maybe for I think. Hold up. Maybe Friday. Maybe. Maybe. Yep. Oh yeah. Channing. Oh, so Channing was Jane Wyman. And Jane Wyman used to be Ronald Reagan's ex-wife. And she was Jane Wyman was the character Channing. Okay, let me give you some people on there. Lorenzo Lamas, who was the Latin lover, he was the guy on there in the pool all the time. A woman by the name of Apollonia. You ever heard of her? AKA Patty Catero. Purple Rain. This was after Purple Rain. She played Lorenzo Lamas' love interest. Um, Let me think. Uh, there's Jeff Foxworth, not Foxworthy, but Jeff Foxworth. He was the one with the gray and had the salt and pepper beard. He was he her son on that? I forgot. But yeah, Jane Wyman's character was the JR and the Lexus of the show. Falcon Crest was cool. It was a cool show. It was cool. It had some zip for a minor moment. It was on the air for a minute. I used to watch it. I remember the characters. Now, if you want to talk about obscure shows, I used to watch Knots Landing. Donna Mills was on there. She was a female J.R. Ewing. Val and Gary Ewing. Lucy's parents. Oh yeah. Um, my favorite is Young and the Restless is my favorite soap opera. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Pat. Yeah. There's a different level to it. Cause you know why? And thank you for making that remark. Thank you for coming through. That's exactly how I look at it. Cause even though Denzel is 70 now, and you know, he's still there's still some kind of I heard he's doing a movie in Italy with Antoine Fuqua, the one that just got to doing the Michael Jackson movie. There's still some interest there, you know. Yep, Victor Newman, yo. Those Abbots, I will get them back. I will get the other Jack Abbott, you will get you. I always dug how he talked. And Eric Braden is a real cool dude. If you ever watch Travis Smiley online on YouTube, there's an interview with Eric Braden. He talking to him. Because Eric Braden lost his house during those California fires about a year or so ago. And he did Trump something big time. And he been around a long time. He was on Young Restless way back in the day. Way back. So 62% saying no. I think it's going to be tough for Michael B. Jordan in this poll. If you're going by people who were big on Denzel. I don't think he can get close to Denzel because the body of work. You know, you got people like myself who still think Malcolm X should have won an Oscar. And if you're going to win awards, if they matter, which they don't. And Hurricane, I mean, he had bodies of work. He wasn't bad as Stephen Biko. He had a lot of variety that he did. You know, we don't even begin to talk about the influence on other actors. We're just saying body of work. It's gonna be a long time to do that. All My Children, yep, and Luke and Laura were huge. Yep. Yep. She was, but Luke snatched that though, so she was. But you know, once the hype got going, you know. That's why when Tom Cruise was asked, do he think there's any movie stars out, he came out and said Michael B. Jordan. Because he know. He know. Anthony Mackie came out and said that they're not promoting, which they're not. They're giving these cats the Tubi time. You know, they treat them like reality, and if you come on, you know, yeah, yeah. I watched some of Days of Our Lives, just like some of Search for Tomorrow. I'm familiar, you know. Yeah, you can't compete in the film game no more because it's all about the franchise and anime, and it's not even about the quality of the films, and it's not about the quality of the actors. They're just a byproduct more than ever. They really are. Back in the day, we studied the film, we studied the technique and all that, and we said, well, so and so, if they get to this level, you know. You don't have no one saying, "Oh, that's the next Denzel Morgan Freeman, the next Pacino De Niro, or the next this and that." No, that day is gone. That day is gone. So that's kind of what we got. Different era, different time. Yep, I remember because Susan Lucci was giving him mad love, I think, and um, when he did that baseball movie with Keanu Reeves. Oh, there's always an exceptions. I mean, Center showed that there's always an exception, and I'm sure the Michael Jackson movies will get the attention span too. I listen. The bottom line is they keep trying to play people like they're dumb, which there is truth to that, but there's also truth that if you come up with something, there's always, the problem is that you want between the pandemic, which definitely hurt a lot of stuff, but they went to more streaming and people could watch from home and they could have access. So the box office thing and the whole thing doesn't even matter anymore, really. So people are gonna just get what they want, you know. I think they could if they had the right thing. Do you? Yeah, especially with social issues, you could, and you had the right actor, right actresses, you could. With a social issue, you could. Yeah, way back in the day. I know what you're talking about. That was way back. Tishana been around for a long time because everyone knows that soap operas is the breeding ground for your acting chops. And it may come across corny and cringy, but that's how a lot of them get their blowout. I think Lean on Me would work in any era because it's school based. I think they would have a place. Heat of the Night, depend on what kind of actors you had. You have to have a good villain, you know. Um, again, depends on how you approach it. Now, if you came up with like 5 or 6 variations of movies like that, it could go either way. It's different with the variations. Heat of the Night could work if you had a good, character, black and white, and you set the scenes up. It could work. It could work. Any type of film can work if you put the right cast with it. Now it depends on what you talking about work. Do you talking about it work with people critical acclaim or you talking about box office? That's two different takes. But then again, if you make the dynamics where it's plausible and it's plausible. Well, is it many more of a slow burn than um um Lord of the Rings? I mean, come on now. And you can make it work. You can make it work. I think people just want something that they can gravitate towards now, and that's the key. So if you got something that people can gravitate towards, they will. If they don't, they won't. So well, again, it depends on how you approach it. Filmmaking always has this aura of mystery and how you're gonna shape it. Now it all depends on how you put it down. I think that people would gravitate. They give them something to gravitate toward. The problem is that there's a lot of wait and see because they're waiting on something big to happen, but it has to be the right charismatic person. There's always a light bulb at the end of the tunnel. It's just a matter if you're waiting there to push the light, you know. But if a Jafar Jackson does a good job of his uncle, and I rumors are going there's gonna be a Michael movie 1 and 2, that's gonna be a lot of money coming in. And then there's rumors that the Jackson brothers are saying that the nephew might be playing Tiger Woods in the movie. So I mean, if you pull off something big and you strike while the match is there, cause Michael B. Jordan has been in nothing but pretty much $1 billion movies. Him and Ryan Coogler got crazy box office status. So what's happening? What's happening, TSP? I gave you a shout out today too, by the way. My video is coming out tomorrow about those jailblazers, and I gave you a shout out. So if you look on nobody. Thank you, TSP, coming with the true. Ain't gonna be no Michael. Cause see, the thing about with Jordan is that it kind of was by default in the sense that with Chadman. Oh, you talking about you talking about Michael Jordan. You're not talking about Michael B. Jordan. I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan. Oh no, there's not gonna be no next to nobody. Nobody. First of all, when people ask these questions, they gotta look at the time period when these people came out. And these people came out in eras where it wasn't even like that. But TSP nailed it about Michael B. Jordan, though. Not just the NBA, but just in life. Period. What did Draymond say? I'm afraid to ask, what did Draymond say? Um, let me make a video out of that. Do I agree with that? No, I disagree. Let me tell you why. Let me write this down. He said, and let me tell you why I disagree with that. Um, they do. It depends on what you're trying to look for. Uh so let me get this right. Let me get so Lakers team to be just in time for playoffs. No, they're not. They're still not better than OKC and not better than San Antonio. Only thing is they might be better as the third through six or so. Well, but weren't they like that last year? How'd it turn on the first round? How'd it turn out last year in the first round? Let me address everything at once if I can. The Lakers aren't that they're still inconsistent and they're one injury away or something from fumbling. They're not with San Antonio OKC, so let's not get it twisted. You know, they're not on that level. They can be had and they will. And you saw what happened with Austin Reeves last night, 15 points. I'm telling you. Would you say it? No. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think so. Um, Social media has pushed people to say and do things in the spur of the moment. But Mystery and Aura went out in the 90s. You know, when MC Hammer was big in the 90s, they made more artists more outright. That was the changing point right there. The hip hop was the changing of the guard. When they started having these reality TV shows and all that, the only thing social media did was either pushed it more to what you hear about things. It already been the cat out the bag. The cat already been out the bag. Let me address this about Draymond because I'll do a video about it. I'm supposed to believe that this is the greatest era of talent. I'm supposed to believe that everybody can shoot a 3-pointer. You're scoring all these points. You're doing what you're doing. So why can't you break off some of these guys on these teams? What you're telling me is if you say there is enough talent to go around, a lot of your teams are garbage. They didn't run through Denver. They had some help in that game. That game was close. I wouldn't get excited. Jamal Murray ain't gonna never go through that again. They smashed the Knicks, and the Rockets is pretty close. The Rockets can score on the offense. That's pretty close. Most people say Muhammad Ali. If you're saying today, I hard to say. Well, he didn't pass Will Chamberlain. He passed Kobe. So so it was second place. So I think that's been talked about. Thank you. TSP is a smart guy. Listen to this guy. Listen to him. They are overrated. Denver don't play no defense, and for firing their coach, what did they exactly land with Mike Malone a year later? They can win a lot of games. See, people like Jokic is like Luca. It's the James Harden syndrome. It's frustrating because usually they don't win. They score a lot of points and they burn out. Denver does not have a 1-2 punch. They don't play no defense, and they just an individualized team. And yet, well, no, there's a difference between what Shea does and OKC. I'm just saying he's scoring a lot of points, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good team. And what happens if he burns out? You know, so I think OKC is still going to come out. I think Wemby next year. I think after this year, though, I'll give you that. I think it's going to be hard to beat them after this year. I'll tell you that. I think OKC and San Antonio are the best two teams going. I still think it's OKC's to win. Um, I don't buy the Lakers a championship team at all. Not even close. I'm with Charles Barkley and Shaq on that. They got lucky against Denver the other night, and they blew a 17-point lead, so I can't exactly get excited about that. Yeah, I'm not surprised because the bottom feeder teams are horrible. Sad to say that's what Golden State is because Sacramento is sad. And I saw DeMar DeRozan moving up the scoring list, which is embarrassing. Dallas was in 2024. Oh, well, Jalen Brown's busting butt, but he has no personality. They hate him. You know, not quite the GOAT. No. Because if he was so golden, how come Jonathan Kamingas? How come he can't get his drafts right? How come he can't, for a so called GOAT? Or like a Billy Goat. No one buys Steve Kerr. Mm-mm. And the sad part is like he isn't anywhere close to as dominant as he should be. Yeah. But the thing about it is this. He couldn't put nothing together. That's what I'm saying. Like he should be. Because let's just face it, he has the most important player in the NBA the last 25, 30 years in Steph Curry. And the star was ahead of the curve. 4 rings, 6 finals appearances, but they've been anything but memorable after that slap to Jordan Poole. They have not. They stuck with a bunch of old men, which nobody won't. No, he's not. No, he's not even better than. He's not better than Eric Spoelstra. Do you really think Bam Adebayo would have shined on a Steve Kerr team? Whereas these Spo people get a chance. Kerr, I don't know. Only because they got Durant, they won those 2 rings, and they went to 3 more finals. It almost erases that. It almost does, you know. But yeah, he's not a coaching wizard. He does some goofball things, you know. And between Jordan Poole and Kamingas and stuff, something's gonna definitely come back to haunt him. McCants, okay. Dark horse to what? Okay, I get it. They might get through the play-in tournament and then they get their butt smashed in 5 games. They ain't doing nothing. Yep. They ain't doing nothing. Tom Curry gets back. He should just come back next year at this rate. His body's giving out on him. Look, I hope he stat pads and gets to 30,000 career points. I wouldn't mind that, but he ain't winning no more ring, except around the collar. He ain't winning no more rings. He kidding himself now. Ain't nobody talking about no Golden State. Ain't nobody talking about no Golden State. Golden State is done. Kobe wanted that money, and I ain't arguing about what had happened, but it did hurt his legacy. It did hurt his leg. Well, Jordan got old, his body gave out. I want them to do a co-rookie of the year. I have no problem if they do it. They did it with Jason Kidd and Grant Hill, so I ain't got no problem with it. I have no problem with co-MVPs or nothing like that if it's legit. If it's a legit argument, yeah. You know. Jordan was older, man. I saw the Wizard cheer. His body was giving out. He'd get on the exercise bike one of them games. He scored 2 points in the game. His body was giving out. And he had to go. And plus, Juanita put a foot in his behind. And when he came back with about the South Beach rendezvous, there's a whole lot that goes on why he retired, my man. So we don't go into that. Yeah, well, he don't get hurt just like Penny don't get hurt, but the guys got hurt. But he played good in Phoenix though. No, Abe Poland and him fell out. So when they had the players lockout, Abe Poland didn't forget how Jordan was against him. Anyway, when he got the opportunity with the Wizards, it was a hook, line, sinker. Because basically, if you come back as a player, you have to sell out your rights to be an owner. But Abe Poland got him in a real twisted way because Jordan had some ownership of the Washington Capitals too. So when he got relieved of his duties, he went out, and I remember he left the garage in DC. I remember they showed footage of it. But he had bad PR because that's when Juanita hooked his butt up in Miami. He did get used. And he always was on the bottom end of some hustling. Because he got hustled by Johnson, Robert Joe Johnson from BT with the whole Charlotte thing. That was a divorce situation. He got hustled left and right. He never had a straight flight NBA nothing. And then he was caught with underachievers, and that's what happened. But that thing in DC also had to do with Juanita too. That's when Juanita filed that divorce. She got him on the beach in South Beach, and she had all the she had him being watched. And that 160 million, which no one talks about. Okay. So I don't want to be people up here. I'm not dissing him, but that's a fact. He got busted cold, and he had to get off some crazy ends cold. No, she was a lawyer, yo. No, no. Who's the best? Reggie Theus? Is Reggie Theus? Because that's who she was messing with before Jordan got in the picture. She hooked him up. And so I don't know how far you go back with the Jordan story, but she reeled him in real good. She reeled him in real good. He got her pregnant. And David Stern, just like Sugar Ray Leonard, they're like, well, we see something in you, but you got to marry her off. You got to marry her. Okay, cool. Okay, then you understand. Had to marry her. And don't forget about that white girl that was falsely with the baby that he had to pay $5 million, which wasn't his. So, uh, Anyway, and of course all the gambling and the mob and all that. But they begin. They Jordan got over, and it's been, you know, because no one ever tells the whole truth about his situation at all. The real story would make your hair rise. Hmm. He was wilding, but then they had him covered. They've had him covered. You know, they made more of a big deal about him shaking that ice off that kid than they did about anything about his own situation. I'm just saying, which wasn't nothing there with the ice, but I'm just saying. So yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff with Jordan, but yeah, just like there was with Dr. J, all of them. David Stern had files on everybody. He was like the J. Edgar Hoover. That's what Adam Silver's got too. That's why a lot of people don't want to hear it, don't know it. You know, it's deeper than you think. Oh, that's how my mind works. Because if I can lock up these, black players, y'all gotta understand something. It is a plantation, yo. It is a plantation. You know. And I think of Adam Silver like that too. They got something on everybody. And if you think he didn't know about Robert Sarver and Donald Sterling, I got gold for you to sell you. That's what they do. They learn from the best. So it's real. It is real. It is real. Hmm. That's because you don't hear about stuff. And so to answer the question that was answered about someone asked me about earlier, do I think that social media? Well, no, they are the social media. They know all your business. You gotta remember something. They make you into millionaires. They take what with their agents, someone to sponsor you, someone that represents you. How you think stuff gets negotiated in the deals? So they own you. So you know they understand it, and they got all these people lined up for that. Hmm. You know, people got you thinking one thing, talking about a players league, and you bounce around. No, they run you. You saw what happened with Kyrie Irving. Mm. And you saw how Shaq and Charles and them got defiant against Kyrie too. So Big Brother be watching you. Hmm. You can sit there and think if you want to think, but they do. 70% saying no. I knew people were gonna come through on this one. I knew it. The problem, I know, and like Michael B. Jordan is a cool dude, but to be like Denzel, that takes some work. That takes body of work, charisma, the depth. You know, it was happening. Long time no see. I remember that name. It's been a while. Let's see, we got more folks coming through. This is good. Was looking good tonight. Appreciate everyone coming through. And like I said, I think if memory serves me right, if memory serves me right, like I should be back on Friday. If memory serves me right. So okay. Let's see where everybody went. I don't really get to unload like that often. Not people talk about what's my boy. Olympus? You talking about like let me get this right. If you talking about like track and field, decathlon, you talking about the whole mount. That's kind of hard to really answer that because I'd have to put people like Jesse Owens on there. You know, if that's what you're talking about, I'd have to encompass somebody that represented the totality. I hate that mess because, again, you have to consider eras, you have to consider the rules, you have to consider, yeah, Jackie Robinson would definitely be on there. Uh, Jesse Owens would have to be on there. Mm, I have to give a strong consideration to Althea Gibson. Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. That Johnny Kamingas thing, but they not gonna do nothing. But watch out next year. I'll tell you one thing: fresh start of a season with what I think they're going to be the next Cleveland of the NBA. They got the right. They finally got rid of Trey Young. He was stealing money there for 30 years, so they finally got rid of him. They got people that want to play. And you know one thing about Atlanta, they always really good every 10 years. So that's what they do. They might could be a problem. I mean, they could be. I mean, the NBA would need a team that's like 7 or 8 seed to shake the thing up. That would be something else. I wouldn't have no problem with it. I think that's exactly what they need. I don't think they're gonna get by beat Boston, or I don't think they'll beat Detroit per se, but you got bottom medium teams, there could be a problem. Depends on what seed you are, could be a problem. It's all subjective. I can't answer that. That's too subjective. Because it depends on what your finances. I mean, depends what you want financially, what you want to breathe in, what you want to. There's a lot of factors involved. That's not fair that I even. Different places have different needs for you. You know. So I can't answer a question like that. That's like I said, that is too low tech. But you know, and things are different now too. All right. Probably be on for a few more minutes. I think I should come back on Friday. I think. I think. Yeah. So Friday maybe. I did too. I did too. I saw it. Now, granted, I don't know if I made a remark about it, and I don't think I they were upset because his jersey's retired. Um, they ain't that good. They not beating San Antonio and OKC. Rolling over what? They barely beat Denver, blew a 17-point lead. I'm with Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. I did a video about that. I wouldn't exactly get excited about what they're doing. They're not exactly a team that, if all the so-called rolling, they still trail OKC by 10 games. They're not going to be a top seed. They're not going to be a top two. And all they got to do is lose a game or two. And they are crammed in a log jam. That's real. Denver wins 2 or 3 games. The Lakers lose a game or two. And Minnesota wins a game or two. You're back in the fifth or sixth seed. I wouldn't exactly get excited. If you're the Spurs, you can get excited. It's apple that they think they could be upset by someone. Yeah, Shaq did, and he played for the Lakers, so he counts. Anyway, I saw that thing and I was appalled, but I'm not surprised. Bill Russell was always treated like a token. And, again, in Bam ought to be ashamed of himself when you're down the shit too. But they don't like history. They like to talk tough, but they don't really like to talk the actual. And Bill Russell made it possible for their butts to sit there. So I don't think they will either. It'll be a struggle. I think that the way they play defense and the way they have to compose, and because they can't get hurt. And the thing is this: the X factor for them is DeAndre Ayton. Okay, he scored 7 points last night. They won by 8. I'm gonna tell you something right now. That ain't gonna get it done. You know, if he don't step up big, they don't win. They need 15 and 10 every night. He does anything less. That's why I don't have no faith in them, because they are gapping the hole. That's where their Achilles is. And that's what's the noticeable thing. And then you can't keep playing like you're gonna outscore everybody. So they have to have everything well timed and well precise. They're not a good team. So Barkley don't have a chip, but I'm gonna tell you something. He has an opinion, and he has every right to say what he says. And he gets tired of hearing about them because they don't have the league MVP, and they don't have the best team in the league, and they've had 3 guys, and they people been trying to cop pleas for him. So, and it's tiring. That's why. So, well, they were mad at Stephen. They were mad at Stephen A because he dissed Bronny. No, they need all the referees and all everything else. I ain't seen nothing about them that I've been impressed with. I can tell you that Detroit impresses me. I can tell you Boston. I can tell you OKC, and I can tell you Denver. I don't see them with the Lakers. They were third last year, and how that turned out. Now they should be better than they were a year ago, but again, they need Reeves got to play out his mind. LeBron got to play good. D. Aiton's got they got to get a lot, and they don't have enough. They don't have enough. And somewhere along the line, JJ Ridiculous is gonna make a boneheaded move, and that's gonna cost them, or somebody gonna get hurt. So you already know how it's gonna turn out. That's all. That's true. Because if they can't, the bottom line is this: you got every reason. What I was gonna tell you earlier is that I disagree with Draymond Green. Y'all tell me all the time how this is the great era, and there are no dishwashers and plumbers playing ball today. So why not take about 3 of everybody's guys and put them on a team? Why not? DeMar DeRozan is moving up the scoring list. So it's not like if you play for Sacramento that you couldn't go to Nashville, play for a team and not compete. Why not? If that's what they're telling me is true, how great this era is, you know, maybe Bronny will get to play somewhere. I mean, you tell me how great this era is. That's what they tell me. But y'all tell me if y'all split these guys up and give them a couple expansion teams, that everybody will be like the Washington Wizards, and then everybody can look like Bam. That's basically what you're telling me. And I know if they want to expand, they can. No, what they basically mean is we don't have any superstars. We don't have the luxury because we don't know where we're going to identify the person that we need, which is problematic. So, okay. So that's how I look at it. It's a sorry state of affairs. But no, Stephen A last year was just using about Bronny. And if they get mad at Barkley, uh, well, they haven't exactly, again, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm still going with OKC. I want to see Shea get a back to back. I think next year, though, yeah, if the Spurs do it, I'll tip my cap. I think next year, in the next 4 or 5 years, is Wemby's world. I'll give you that. Because barring injury, focus is still there. I don't think nothing's going to get in their way from 2027 to 2032. I think it's theirs to run. Oh, I think they're gonna win. I think SGA is showing you all the signs of what greatness is about. He's more than determined. He can back it up. They have, they no one wants it because they're like I say, look at my Southern Hicks, but I'm telling you, I think they got it. I think if Chad Hogan can come up big, it's easier than you can imagine. Because that's really it. If the bigs come up big, You know what they're gonna get, and I think they can do it. You know, so we'll see. But I only got 2 teams out the West and 2 teams out the East. Everybody else is just playing for third and whatnot. I'm not impressed because I could stockpile some of those teams on the bottom. You know, Alex Caruso is actually the X factor because he's Austin Reeves minus the scoring, but he's Austin Reeves what the Lakers would be dangerous on the defense. So that's what's missing. And you gotta have that these days, you gotta have it. That's why they're never out of games because they can always turn up a notch with what they got. I think Detroit, Boston, predominantly. I think they're the best two. I think Detroit's just got to show maturation, and I think Boston just has to be composed. But I think either one of them can come out. But the bottom team, like an Atlanta, could be dangerous. Miami could be dangerous. Could be. Cleveland could be dangerous. You know. So we'll see. I don't think anybody in the East is gonna come out. I think it's gonna be like 2 teams. I don't think it's that deep. Yeah, I think that's what most people think about with James Harden with Cleveland. I just think that Cade Cunningham could have that Tyrese Halliburton thing going, but they are in trouble. They need a scorer. Man, they could get Isaiah Thomas out the old folks' home right about now, or Vinny Johnson, and it could be a problem. Shit, they could get Chauncey out of lockdown. It could be a problem. That's what they're missing is instant offense. Well, Cleveland could do it. Could. We'll see. We will see. And tonight's been great. It's got a lot more people come through today. Appreciate everybody that come through today. All right. I'll be on for 5 more minutes. I'll do like 5 more minutes. Tonight's been so great. I don't mind. We putting it down. It's great up in here. Appreciate everybody that came through today too. Much appreciate you. And I got some videos I'm working on. Of course, you'll check out the channel. And feel free to throw comments and what would you like to see and so forth. Because I got, you know, I just don't think I don't think the East is that deep. But it could be some injuries. It could be some stupidity. We'll see. You never know. I think we're gonna call it a night. Thanks for coming through though. Um, maybe Friday. Be on the lookout Friday. I think Friday I might be coming through on Friday. If not Friday, then it'll be Sunday. So be on the lookout. Be one of those two. So more like a anyway, that's what it's gonna be about. Cause I gotta look at everything carefully. I think that's what's gonna be. So it will be either yeah. Friday's question mark, definitely Sunday. And then definitely next Tuesday for his lives goes. If I keep getting good turnouts like this, I definitely throw, because it's definitely been on the one. It's definitely been cool to see some faces. I ain't seen Charles in a minute. And with AATL, and of course I gotta deal with them Laker fans and all that stuff. But I will touch on to this Draymond Green thing because um they're gonna have expansion. And that's where LeBron come back in the picture as an owner. They're gonna have people that so they can make it look like they love folks, and they're gonna have some ownership. Um, because they need more teams to beat on, they need more records to be broken. They need to water it down more. So there's an agenda. There is always an agenda at work. Adam Silver does not miss a beat. He's like, any means the way I can get the money, we're gonna do it. So that's what I see. And they watered down the league in the 90s when they brought Toronto, all those expansion teams in before. They do it every few years. They got TV revenue and they want to touch all four corners. So I get what they're trying to do. Should they do it? No. But does it make sense for the money? Yeah. Because they want fans on all four corners. They don't want nobody to miss out on what they putting down. So that's kind of what's up. So NBA doing NBA things, always about the bag. You know how it goes. So anyway, appreciate everybody that came through. And we'll be seeing you soon. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. If you follow me on other social media platforms, feel free to get in touch. Drop me a message. All right. I'm out one time. Peace.